Like and subscribe right now, or you're going to have terrible luck for the next week. Railway transportation is voted as the cheapest, most comfortable, and safest means of transportation. It also offers passengers a unique traveling experience featuring mountains, forests, meadows, and rivers. Amid all these beauties, this means of transportation has some downsides that are not always amplified for some unknown reasons. Are you planning a rail trip soon and want to know the tracks to avoid? These are the 15 most dangerous railway tracks in the world. Chennai Rameswaram Route, India. Everyone loves train journeys, but some are not worth the accompanying fear. This train route is built over the sea to access the Rameswaram Island of southern India. The train moves in the Pamban Bridge that displays the creativity of the Indian engineers. It's one feat many countries are looking forward to imitating. You would experience crazy water splashing as the train moves on the track. For a second, it would feel like you'll drown in a massive body of water. If you think this scary train ride is something you can shoulder, bring it on! Book tickets for you and your significant other to experience it firsthand. Argo Gede Route, Indonesia. Of all the train routes that'll be listed here, you'll probably find this one more breathtaking. Aside from the scare, it has a magnificent landscape. The train transverses between Jakarta and Indonesia and takes about 3 hours to complete the journey. The real adventure starts when the train runs above the subtropical valley on the Cikarang Pylon Trestle Bridge. It feels like your heart left you for a second and flew into the valley. What makes this route more frightening is that the bridge does not have an enclosure on either side. Even after many people book their train tickets, they change their minds when they see videos of this ride. The feeling of riding here is unexplainable. A trial would convince you. Death Railway, Thailand. Like the name implies, the Death Railway track has a dark past filled with countless deaths. The trains that transverse the Myanmar borders must pass through the Death Railway. The entire route from start to finish is called the Death Railway because of what it stands for. History has it that the name originated because many laborers who built the track during the Second World War died in the process. The incident is evergreen, and this explains why the name has remained unchanged to this day. Aside from this dark past, the train route is dangerous because it passes through dense forests, mountains, and terrains. Salta Porvorio, Argentina. It took 27 years for Argentina to complete this zigzag track. Salta Porvorio has 21 tunnels and 13 bridges that assure you of a breathtaking experience. Today, this area is now used as a tourist spot and hosts thousands of visitors yearly. You can enjoy the edifice built 4,200 meters above sea level while holding your heart in your hands. It is the 5th highest railway in the world. Devil's Nose, Ecuador. If you ever pass through the Devil's Road, I bet you shouldn't expect a smooth ride. Travelers on this route know this but choose to explore anyway. The train route of Nares del Diablo provides breathtaking views as the train passes through the nose of the devil. The government built a zigzag railway that covers the 500-meter hilly area in less than 12 kilometers. It is said that 3,000 Jamaicans and 1,000 Puerto Ricans constructed it, and about 2,000 of them died. Built more than 9,000 feet above sea level, the Devil's Nose is one of the scariest rides in the world. Despite the odds, this area is one of the most popular sections visited by thousands of fun lovers yearly. Georgetown Loop Railroad, Colorado, USA. The Georgetown Loop Railroad was the ideal engineering marvel of the 19th century. It moves between Georgetown and Silver Plume. The journey becomes horrible when heavy winds coming from the sides force the train to lose balance. This means that for most of the ride, the train wobbles its way through the track. Minamiaso, Japan. While the train ride itself is safe, the route isn't. It's a hotspot for an active volcano. The train also travels through the Tottenham Bridge, a steel and wood overpass high above the water below it. The 30-minute lonely ride reveals all the lovely scenery Mount Aso has to offer. Although one part of the train line is closed due to a devastating earthquake in 2016, trains still run here. It costs about $13 to join the ride. Previous visitors say it's the best to be at the rail station 2 hours before departure to get a comfortable seat that allows you to see everything firsthand. Coming late would mean that you are given a seat from the leftovers. White Pass and Yukon Route, Alaska. The frozen landscape is something you should bother about when traversing this route. Another thing that should worry you is the 3,000-foot climb up the mountains. This site was once used as a route for miners to get to the gold-rich city of Yukon. Trains here travel up 3,000 feet in less than 20 miles. This means that it deliberately shortens the time miners take to Yukon City from 3 weeks to 3 hours. It wasn't easy to build this track. Men hung from ropes on the side of mountains to drill holes. The trail once killed horses as they tried to pass the area. The steep terrain has claimed many lives, with some of them unreported. Thankfully, there are safety measures for riders so that casualties are reduced. Pilatus Railway, Switzerland. The Pilatus Railway is the steepest cogwheel railway in the world. It boasts a gradient of 48%, and you can travel to the station at 7,000 feet above sea level. The train travels from Albnigstad to Pilatus Combe within the mountains and the alpine meadows. The 30-minute ride leads to an alpine peak that is famous for its incredible vistas. After the ride, visitors can lodge at the Hotel Pilatus Combe and enjoy a 4-course gourmet meal while spending the rest of the day in the cozy accommodations surrounded by snow. The beautiful views and the mouth-watery dishes are enough reason to forget the horrors of the 30-minute ride. Mexican Railways. There are no dangerous rail tracks in Mexico per se, but the route is laden with dangers. Passengers may get into trouble by booking a ticket to ride on any Mexican train. Militia groups and drug gangs are rampant in Mexico, and they have taken over lonely areas of the country. Passengers can easily fall victim to robbery, assault, and, in severe cases, murder. Sometimes, these assailants do not need to be provoked to kill randomly. If you're lucky, they'll rob you of your valuables and let you go. But if otherwise, they send you to the great beyond. In 2017, there was a 475% increase in train robberies, amounting to nearly 720 a day. There were also 38,000 cases of assault and murder between 2007 and 2017. The figure keeps increasing. Maeklong Railway, Thailand. The Maeklong Railway in Thailand runs through the middle of the market. You wouldn't blame the train that passes here that much, but the locals who chose to establish a market on the track should be questioned. The Maeklong Railway Market is the largest seafood market in Thailand. When a hooting train approaches, vendors rush to take their goods away from the track, and after it passes, they return to their original position. Because of the clogs on the train's wheels, it's the slowest in Thailand and covers only 30 kilometers per hour. Not only would you fear for your life, but you'll also be concerned about traders who are not fast enough to remove their goods before it's crushed. Some others wouldn't even hear the train coming from a distance and would get killed in the process. Coronda Scenic Railway Route, Australia. You have probably traveled by train several times in your life, and in most cases, you were thrilled by the experience. But would you willingly travel in a train knowing that it brings you face to face with death? Even if you say no, adventurers think differently. When you travel through this Australian rail track, you would indeed be scared for your life. There is a mountainous waterfall near this track that whenever the train passes, the spraying water splashes on the passengers fiercely. This is the point where you're either irritated or excited about the trip. This line gets its name from the spectacular views the passengers enjoy before the Great Splash. India's Deadly Railway. News of crime in India's railways is common these days. Travelers along this route stand a chance of being assaulted or murdered. Rail transportation in this country is one of the most dangerous in the world. Even though the government promises safety along the tracks, there's been little or no improvement so far. According to the Mumbai Railway Police data, accidents peaked at 38,000 between 2007 and 2017 with an average death figure of 9 per day. Subsequent reports didn't show any improvement on the previous ones. Instead, casualties increased. These alarming statistics prompted the government to instruct the railway operators to develop ingenious ways to improve their passenger safety.
Now it's time for today's best pick.
This image was sent to us by a subscriber. If you come across an image on the internet and want to know more about it, please send it to us. We'll analyze it and possibly feature it in our next video. Utaniqueto Tejo Train, South Africa. Although there have been several incidents since Utaniqueto Tejo opened in 1928, the journey is much safer now. The track is impressive if not for the Cayman's Bridge that cuts across some parts of the Indian Ocean. The river flowing down the bridge passes through various dangerous paths. This alone is nerve-wracking enough to never book a ticket with this train. The railway links Knysna and Georgetown, all in South Africa. The 3-hour journey does not end until it briefly stops in Sedgefield, Gukama, and Wilderness. It was declared a preserved railway in 1922 as it carries about 115,000 passengers yearly. Of this figure, about 70% of them were tourists. If you've got the guts and want to show it, bring it on!
Before we move on, I have a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. Just leave a like on the video, smash the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 25 years of good luck. Try it. It really works.
Napier-Gisborne Railway, New Zealand. The Napier-Gisborne Railway track is another journey that gives you the correct dose of creepiness. What fascinates visitors the most is the fact that it passes through the Gisborne Airport. Before they move on the track on the runway, they have to take permission from the air traffic control, else a collision would occur. The construction of the track between Napier to Palmerston began in 1911 and was completed in 1942. This line remains a major engineering feat because it was built on a rugged terrain within weak geological conditions. And there you have it. If you've been looking for a place that allows you to feel a bit off and rethink some of your terrible life decisions, I'm guessing these rail lines are screaming your name. Please tell us which one you'll love to visit first if an opportunity shows up. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more premium updates. Until another scintillating episode, adios.